All right, listen, you deserve to feel happier, to sleep better, and to experience the medically validated results of Headspace. Headspace is meditation made simple. And for Wolf's Den listeners, you can get a free 1-month trial if you sign up today right now. Go to headspace.com/wolfden. That's headspace.com/wolfden. All right, JB here, the Wolf in the Wolf's Den. Wow, what a crew I've got here today. All right, I got the one and only Amanda Cerny here for a repeat performance. She was here once already.
I'm not leaving.
You ain't fucking leaving. Right? No, that comes from last night. She's still not fucking leaving. And she's sober now. She's still not leaving. And then we got the king himself, King Bach.
Yeah.
Like, man, what's
What's
up?
up? What's up?
All right, I got a lot of questions. You guys, all right, I just found something out. You guys like were the early inventors or players, creators on Vine, right?
Right. Yeah, we weren't the inventors, but we were the original performers.
Performers,
yeah.
right. And I asked you last night what happened with Vine. You said, I was bought by Twitter and they just kind of
Let it die.
And why was that?
Because I feel like Instagram got video.
Yeah.
Got the 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Vine gave us 6. So we started putting the scraps onto Vine, and then people were like, let's get the full meal. And they went on Instagram.
And I think there was a moment, actually, remember we all wanted to get paid.
We all signed
we all signed a thing. We were like,
Right?
Yo.
A petition?
yeah. We were like, hey, we
And
want
they're like, fuck you.
because we made like everyone's coming on Vine to see our videos, so we're like, oh yeah, you guys should help us out and pay us. And they said no. They said
no.
they just like no, and then we said, oh, okay, we're gonna stop creating content. And then we all just it was like the top 30 creators. We just didn't create content for Vine, and then that's when we saw like the followers and the things started to like, and then everything went to Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, so we shut them down.
Time too, it was like you could kind of feel the competition with Instagram
Yeah.
coming up with the video, and then we're like, all right, well, we're incentivized over here with more
Yeah.
time, screen time, but over here, if you pay us.
How much has
for our
things
time.
changed in the world? Like since you guys go back to like, was 2013?
Yeah.
Right? When you guys were really rocking and rolling. Like how much has it changed since then? Is it still the same or is it a completely different game now?
Oh, it's totally different. Now you can't even get away with anything. Like you get shit politically correct. You have to be politically correct or you're canceled. Yeah! Get him out of here! He's talking about what? Get him out of here!
And just dying to cancel you, right?
Yeah. Oh.
How do you know what to say and what not to say though? Because it keeps changing, right?
I mean, you say what you want to say, as long as you're not hurting anyone.
Right.
I mean, everything is gonna offend somebody. Like especially if you're doing comedy.
Yeah.
What people have to realize is sometimes when people are doing videos, it's not them. They're just portraying a character. That's.
Do you ever get close to being? Do you ever get close? I bet you haven't, but have you ever been close to being? Have you ever done something you were like right at the edge, and you're like, holy wait, you're like, I don't know if I should have fucking done that because.
Not seriously, because that would be like that's the Me Too movement. Like that's that side. I don't.
Solid cancel.
That's the solid, like you don't come back.
We have a mutual friend who's been. He's been canceled.
Yeah.
Really?
No, they canceled the check. They ripped up the envelope.
Done.
They threw it out.
They
and
have
then
confiscated the home.
right, they stamped on the grave and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's the lesser form of cancellation? It's like you're almost like temporary. This show's been temporarily suspended, or like
No, not me.
I mean, it's not like I wasn't getting canceled. It was during during COVID, and I was on Twitch, remember? Yeah. And then I was like, what did I say? It was like a part of like a long stream, but in the beginning I was like, guys, I'm not gonna stream longer if like the goal has to be this for me to like be on this platform streaming. And a lot of people on Twitch for gaming, they're like, this is a passion. You cannot like say you have to reach this like amount of subscribers. And I was like, well, no. That was like, first off, the way I was saying it was like super like, guys,
right.
Like I come across like an asshole because like how like just that chunk that was like taken out too. And obviously that's not like my personality, but anyways.
Yeah.
So, and that chunk was taken out. And then I I was like genuinely so busy that I was like, for this to be a part of my schedule, like I wanted to prioritize it by if I'm making enough income to take away from something else. And I guess that was wrong for the platform.
You should be there for the love of it.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Yeah.
You know
I
what's?
understand
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
And but the thing is, I pushed it even more because I engaged with it as well.
Yeah.
And I went
She's
back and
she's
forth.
fighting back. Wait a second. No,
Yeah.
guys. Right, yeah.
But-
You wouldn't let it go.
Yeah.
I see my side and I definitely see that side. So for me, that was like a little bit of a.
You're like,
mess up.
but.
But I didn't get fully canceled because it's not like fully cancel worthy.
Right. And then in my situation, like my era that I grew up in was watching like In Living Color, Chappelle Show. And Chappelle Show, all they did was cross the line.
Right.
Like back then, you could just cross the line, you could do whatever. So in my mind, when I'm making sketches or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, I love Chappelle Show. He would do something like this. He would do something like that. And but if you were to play some of those things now, it wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
Like if you were to play Eddie Murphy's stand-up special now, it would just, everyone would be like, oh my God, who is this guy? Get rid of him.
Right,
It's canceled.
right,
He can't
right.
say that word. He can't do those things. But yeah, it's just times have changed. People are softer now.
You know what I think is an interesting thing? I see them. I want to talk about crypto. Is that nowadays, if you say something that offends a certain way of like a platform or group, they go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you an example, like on the whole crypto world, right? Like I've been really supportive of the crypto community, and I'm in it myself, right? And once I made a tweet, like this is even me, they love me, right? I'm like, they're like a spiritual leader for a lot of these people, a guide for some of them, because they look at the movie, they love the whole thing, right? And I said, hey guys, do me a favor, listen, will you please be careful? Like, one day, with this Doge, just please, just remember that at some point in time, there's gonna be some blood on the streets. And the amount of hate that they're like, he's working for the banks. I'm like, what? I'm like, they wouldn't hire me, the fucking banks. I'm like, but like, oh, I'm like, what? I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, be fucking careful, by the way, because I don't want you to lose money,
I'm
right?
trying to help you.
Right? And it's interesting, there's almost like this like fucking vicious response that comes back, but do you think it's from a few really loud people, or is it like the bulk of the people? Like that's what I can't figure out. Like, is it really?
They don't really care.
Yeah.
They're just doing it to get attention. And the moment you realize that's when it's all okay.
Yeah.
Like a hater's just a fan in denial.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
I love my haters, by the way, but this was different than hate. It was people that love me. Like, how could you have done this? Like you burst my bubble. Like I'm saying, like
Betrayed their trust.
Yeah. But you are for the little guy. I'm like, I never said I wasn't. I'm just saying, but like, guys, I don't want you to lose all your fucking money if the bubble should burst one day. I didn't even say it was like tomorrow. I wasn't like selling now. I was like, listen, guys,
you're giving us
like take a little chips off the table. I said to you, like, so Amanda, you're a big fan of the Doge, right?
I like the Doge.
Okay, let's
To
hear
the moon.
To the moon, right? Howling to the wolf howls to the moon, right? So where do you think the Doge goes though? I know you can't give investment advice, and I'm
Not a financial
I ain't giving investment advice
advisor.
here, but
Yeah.
where do you think the Doge goes?
It's all speculation, right?
Right.
But I would say $1.
$1. Okay,
$1.
here's what I want to know.
But
Right?
$1.06.
$1.06.
Yeah, we know what she's doing when it hits $1.
You know what?
Brands.
It's a good friend of mine. He's a big player in crypto. His name is Beatles, Robert Beatles, right? And I made him a bet at the end of the year. I bet him $25,000 on the closing price of Bitcoin on December 31st at 11:59 p.m. I lost the bet by
That's a hard one to
I bet it would be $10,000. $10,000.
$10,000?
You don't remember Bitcoin was much lower, but like we made the bet I think in July, and it was like 6,000-7,000. I was like, all right, I'll bet 9. He goes, no, I'm going to bet like 12 or 13, north of 10, and I just got fucking buried. It was like a total loss,
Yeah.
And but he was a good sport about it. Like he gave me Bitcoin and said, I lost, but he gave me Bitcoin. We got me into Bitcoin because that really got me into Bitcoin. I'll tell you what really turned the tide for me is a couple of things. Number one is I used to look at Bitcoin And there was people out there saying, it's going to replace the dollar. It's going to be that's it. The banks are going to die. And this guy, who was a very big player, was saying, it's not that. It's digital gold. Yeah. Right? So like with that, and that it was more rational, right? And then I thought the government's were going to outlaw crypto. Yeah. That was my original thought. When did you first get involved in crypto?
So I got involved like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm horrible with time, but a while ago. And it was because my boyfriend, who was then my friend, told me to invest in Bitcoin. And I was like, what is this? Okay, whatever, I'll buy a Bitcoin. And then
a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
How much was a Bitcoin back then?
I think it was, I don't remember. I think it was like 13 or something.
Okay.
So then it went down for a while, and I was like, this is the worst investment advice I've ever gotten. And then finally last year now, it went up, and it went up like to 14,500. And I was like, finally, I'm out. And then I sold it, and then I was like, okay, because I was not into the crypto community at all. I didn't understand it, mainly because I didn't understand it.
Right.
And then Bach started getting me into options trading.
There we go. Okay. And how'd that one go?
Well, I did really well at stocks, like just buying and holding, like because I would just like buy the market always, and like in companies I thought were going to be around, and I've been doing that since I was like. Callie. I've been doing that since I was like 15.
Right.
But options were a completely new idea, and I started researching those more because of Batch. And then I was trading options mainly.
She's like, they're doing stuff without me. I can't believe it, you know? Right?
So I started trading options in like January, and I was doing well with Tesla and mainly doing options in Tesla. And then, so I was paying attention to a lot of like what Elon was doing and like the whole company, and just like starting to like go down the rabbit hole with that. And then Batch gave me some solid advice.
Solid, dude. Freaking solid advice, dude.
Yeah. And what was that advice?
It was don't do it. Don't do those short-term contracts.
So I started doing weeklies. And then I was like,
no! You said don't do it.
Yeah. And I was like, you gotta learn sometimes through your own.
But we're like, what the fuck is Batch though? Like, I mean, it's like, just tell me how to shoot a video, maybe I'll fucking listen. But fucking Batch is advising me on fucking options contracts. Batch fucking knew though. The Batch knew.
I feel like
he's the king.
I feel like I'm going to Vegas with my weeklies because I don't have enough time to fully invest in the research of all these companies.
Right.
And just for me, it was a ton of like just a guessing game and like gambling. Yeah. So I got a little bit cocky with it, and I started doing weeklies, and Tesla started going, woo.
Because the thing is, the stock market is so emotional. Yeah. Elon could just tweet something, and then it'll just go,
which makes it volatile, like crypto. So I was used to the volatility, and then I started doing. Johannes got me back started talking about crypto next to me all the time, my boyfriend.
Right.
And then when he...
Next to me all the time, just in my ear.
How long have you guys been together for? It's been a long time, right?
We've been friends first, and then we started hooking up, and then we started dating. Wait, is hooking up dating?
Yeah. Hooking up is dating these days.
Yeah. Yeah, we were doing that. And then we like exclusive and together, and yeah.
Got it.
So maybe like, I don't know, 3 years together.
Okay. All right. Marriage coming in any time in the future?
Let's stick to crypto. And then
help me out here, Bat. What are you doing?
I love Johannes so much. You love Johannes.
I love Johannes.
We all love you, Johannes.
We all love you. Johannes, I'm pulling for you, buddy. You know? I'm pulling for you, you know? Johannes.
And then I started crypto because he was telling me about this platform he was using, and how it's lower fees with BNB. So it wasn't on Bitcoin I got back in. I started investing in the Binance coin.
Okay.
And then I saw the utility of that coin, and then I went under a whole new rabbit hole and fully invested in that.
Let's talk about the utility. Tell me about the utility of the coin. What makes you like it?
The low fees.
In the way that you can explain to the people that are listening.
Well,
Amanda is speaking. We must now.
We must listen.
We must listen. Yes. What's the utility? You want to know?
Well, I do a lot of swing trades.
She does.
I do.
She's swinging.
I'm addicted. I have fun with it though. Like,
tell them what a swing trade is, so they know what a swing trade is.
Oh, you buy the dip, and just sell like whatever percentage increase is kind of your rule for yourself. Mine's 2%. Whenever I get greedy, I fall into another dip and I'm down lower, and then I have to wait longer for it to go up. Luckily, it's a bullish market and it still goes up. So one of my biggest learnings in crypto is like, do not be greedy with your trades. Like
take those profits.
Yeah, exactly. But with BNB, they also burn their coins every quarter. They have a certain amount of coins that they're burning.
So they're
it
keeping
brings up the
scarcity,
value.
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, which is great for the coin too, and gives like longevity for it. And Binance is one of the most used platforms for the exchanges.
Where's Binance located? It's overseas, isn't it?
Yeah, so you have to get a VPN to use Binance.
I use Binance US though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have less coins on it, but it's safer. Like nobody's gonna come for me.
Yeah.
So,
I don't use the VPN. I use Binance US. Binance.us.
Binance.us is the only one.
It's the only one I use.
All right, so you're a fan of the coin, right?
Yeah. So I started with that one, and then that one's been going up, and it has that's why the crypto market was perfect for me, because it was similar to options, but I didn't lose it all if I was wrong on my bet.
Okay.
I just have to hold it for longer, if I believe in the project and the coin.
Right.
So if I'm buying into these shit coins that I don't think are gonna do well, or have no utility, or have like no purpose or no branding behind them, or have no good backers or anything, then I'm probably making a really risky bet, because it might not come up and it might just dump and end at zero, and I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like your friend.
Yeah, Bash, let's see your okay, let's go.
All right, so swing trading, I feel, is more like you're young, you're in college, you're going to
You take that risk.
Yeah, you're taking that risk.
You take that risk.
Right? But
And those gains.
But I was into it too, but now when I'm busy, I have to play golf. You know what I mean? I have to slow it down. So now I'm trying to think like long term. So we see the whole NFT craze, right? That's starting to get bigger. And how do you buy NFTs? Ethereum.
Right.
So what I did was I invested money in Ethereum once I started to hear about like the whole NFT stuff. And NFTs, it's big, but it's still not mainstream yet. So I think
it's got hit pretty hard. So I know I did a lot of research, because I'm going to launch some NFTs out there, right? And I wanted to be careful. I didn't want to just put something out there and get buried in the end, because a lot of people lost a lot of money, because in the last 6 weeks, the market's down like 90%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So because the problem is there's no secondary market yet developing. So I think we had this conversation last night that some things that are like sort of more attached to reality. Like, for example, like if it includes something else that's a tangible asset in the real world, would probably have a bit more long-term viability in the trading market. Mm-hmm. I think that NFTs are a natural evolution of everyone has got crypto, right? Yeah. And it lives in the virtual world. And I used to look at my son, and he was like 14, and he's playing video games, and he had these fucking cards, like the whole Pokemon. I was like, you're never gonna get laid.
Today he might.
Little did I know. But the thing, right? I thought it was like, oh God, come on, Carter, this is ridiculous, embarrassing. You're killing me, right? He'd be playing, and he's like, "That's because I need your card. I need to get another life, or I need to get a fucking virtual banana." Yeah. I'm like, what? Why does he give a shit about a virtual? But the truth is, and this is what I didn't realize then, and it finally hit me about 6 months ago, is that anything that exists in the real world will be equally coveted in the virtual world if you're in the virtual. Once people start playing in that world, it's almost everything. There's no distinction, I think, in the human brain with dopamine and how we make decisions and what we value. So like you say, why would someone want a virtual NFT? You can't hang it on your wall, theoretically. What's the value? But to the person who has the virtual money, the Ethereum, as you said, sitting in the account, they want to make it real. Like, how do you make that real?
But we got CryptoPunks.
And the artwork, right?
It's the first.
Huh?
It's the first on the blockchain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
they had CryptoKitties was early on too, but I think that was on a different chain.
Mm-hmm. Which one did you buy?
I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
Show them yours.
You show me yours? Wait, will you show me yours?
It's so ugly.
And
that's the beauty of it.
I always say this too, like if you're trading in crypto and you're buying in, or even in it's such a volatile market. You really have to just either have the guts for the
Right.
volatility
Yeah.
or just like invest and don't look away. And look away,
Mm-hmm.
but also do it with money that you're not going to need next
Right.
month.
You have to be able- It's gotta
Like
be
disposable.
That's some ugly shit, man. Is this supposed to be Bach stuff? No.
Yeah, that's the closest one I could get.
Yeah, and Bat showed me that. Another thing. Bat showed me that
And there we go.
There you go, CryptoPunk.
And
ladies
how much did you
gentlemen.
pay for this thing?
Like 50,000.
What? Nothing needs to be said about that. Right?
I
There's
paid
no words-
$50,000
No
for-
words are required. No words are required. Man. And how much did you pay for this?
75.
And people,
I got a bid on mine for $40,000 more than when I bought it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Now?
Yeah.
Those things are moving.
Wow.
One of them
These are
sold for how
legit.
many million?
They're scared. 9 million.
So one of them sold for 9 million.
Around 7 to 9. I'm bad with memory, but
So what I'm hearing now from a lot, I have a lunch after this with someone that I think you know the guy. I think it's Paolo. Do you know him?
Yeah, Paolo, yeah.
I have lunch with him after this, right? And he was advising me on the whole NFT thing, and he's really, really bearish on the NFT stuff.
Yeah, and he's been trading since your time.
Yeah, he's a nice, very smart guy. His opinion is that what's happening, here's what I think the problem is. It goes back to when we used to take companies public, and the way it's done now is that when you're pricing something out, that's going to start trading. So an NFT is going to keep trading after it's sold. So you have it, you can sell it. The
Like trading
expectation
cards.
is, right, yeah, like you buy it, you're going to sell it at a higher price. What happens though is we were figuring out, like, okay, we took Steve Madden's shoes public. What do you price that at? What's it worth? Well, you come up with a decision. Okay, I think it's worth, $4 a share because people will pay $5. If you think people will pay more, you price it below that so it will go up after it starts to trade. I think what's happening right now is there's a flaw in the way NFTs are being launched. And what happens is they're being allowed to get bid up too high before it starts to trade. So they get artificially bid up before. In other words, it's like the person selling it has this one big hit rather than it's starting off at a lower level.
slowly
And then the guy makes money with it. So every time it's sold it should be that if it's sold at a lower price, the creator gets nothing. If it's sold at a higher price, the creator gets a 10 or 15, 20% cut.
we made the best investment because CryptoPunks, when they launched, they were given away for free. And from there, people bought them, and they were slowly building over time and being traded amongst people just because it was like a proof of concept.
There you go. And that's
So-
how you actually build a market. So if it starts off lower, but so I think it's a mistake for someone that comes in there like, I don't want to name names, but like Paris Hilton. She sold something at $1 million and it collapsed to $10,000 the next day. Right? So that's like, and that,
It went to 10,000.
that's what I heard. I mean, again, that's what I heard from Paolo, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't sell because you couldn't sell for $10,000 today. The day after.
Wow.
Right? So
The
idea.
hype.
Yeah, so the idea is it's not her fault, by the way. It's not her fault. She just did something.
loves her.
No,
It
it's
looks
not her fault. But I'm saying, it's I think it's a flaw in the development of the market because what it does is it's going to give the market a bad taste. People will shy away from that. So it will be much better if, like with the CryptoPunks, where they allowed it to start off at a low price, let people naturally trade it up.
Or that physical component to it as well, or actual utility, like we were discussing at dinner.
What do you feel about BitClout?
So I'm on BitClout.
Okay.
I got on BitClout very early because a friend of mine, my coin was there, right? So now you claim I'm sure you got a coin and you got a coin.
We all got a
You got a
coin.
coin, right?
Yeah.
And at first I was a bit put off. Like, wait a second. I'm like I didn't ask them to create a coin. And I looked and saw all the people I knew. I saw you there. Like, that's kind of weird, right? But the thing is that the community itself, it's like another one of these ultra passionate communities. The belief is that from their perspective, and I would say I'm somewhat part of it, it's like internet 2.0 they call it, or social media 2.0 or 3.0, in the sense that it's unfair right now. The way things are happening is that you go on a Facebook, you go on a Twitter, you go on an Insta, they make all the money, you make a tiny little bit, right? And they own everything versus that, people should get paid for, like, it's honestly what you guys were asking for in Vine at some level,
Yeah.
right? They're saying, listen, we don't own the platform, but we kind of do, because if we're the ones that are creating for the platform, what's the platform without the creators, right? So I think the concept of BitClout is really smart. The idea is that on some level, it's okay, you're trading the clout theoretically of someone. So if I believe you're going to become more popular and have a bigger following over the years, then theoretically your coin should go up, vice versa, right? It started off though with much more of an arithmetic thing where people like driving up coin, like people are just saying, I want my coin to go up. So some wealthy, smart people are I would not manipulative, they're just doing things to purposely drive up the value of their coin.
Right.
So you would see that people that are not even 1 billionth as famous as either of you would have a coin that's 20, 50 times more valuable than yours. So that's a problem, because then you look at it and say, wait a second.
That's not right.
It's not real.
Yeah.
It's like, so what's the point of a coin where someone who no one knows, they couldn't walk, they couldn't meet anyone that would know who they were, versus you guys can't go out. How could that coin be higher than yours?
Well, I guess it's like similar to when you're picking what coins you're investing in and everything too. It's like that's the job of the people that are investing on the platform, to do the research of somebody's clout, I guess.
So what they're doing on BitClout though is it's like sort of, I'll tell you what, you know, I'll show you, you buy mine, I'll buy yours, or I'll give you 4 of these for 2 of those, and I'll give you, also some people are trying to tie in, like if the first 5 people, I'll do a special call for you, like, so they're giving you value like that. I think what it does though is it kind of skews the value. So when you look on it, people are a bit just like, wait a second, I don't understand, like, so okay, Elon's at 63,000. That makes sense. Even though he's not on the platform yet, his coin's the most valued.
Which terrifies me,
right?
Because where's the consent?
Right. That's the part that I didn't like. So I'm saying, wait a second, he's not on. There's a few people like, but Elon stands out at 63,000, right?
Yeah.
But then the other part is like the asymmetric value. People like, they don't deserve to be at the level that they're at. They don't deserve to be at the level they're at because people who are far more popular are not there.
Right.
That said, though, there's something really cool about it, that it's supposed to be decentralized, but it's not decentralized. It's a centralized platform. I think they're trying to decentralize it now and let people develop other nodes.
I feel like nothing's fully decentralized. I think there's like, it's not like black and white. I feel like there's like shades of being decentralized, like, because you can have, centralized, that's like, you have a CEO, or like a company too. Like you have a CEO, like that heads everything, like the board members, like it's very concentrated at the top that dictates what's going on with the entire company. But same thing with like Binance. When I use that platform, people don't like it because it's not fully decentralized, so they don't want to use it as much.
Right.
And
well, it could get hacked, or they could just take your crypto and go bankrupt. Which happens a lot. It just happened in was it Malaysia or Thailand, right? Where they just literally, one of the places the guys are on the run now. Turkey. Yeah, where one of the exchanges went bankrupt. They outlawed crypto, and the guys on the run. Everyone lost their money. It happens.
Geez, yeah. But this is like not even with like the inside of the company, it's with the validators. So like there's the people on the back end that validate the transactions. And so there's like concentration within like the mining. So it's like, all right, if that's too concentrated.
Sure.
So like with Binance, they have like, I don't know, like numbers, just say like 21,000 validators.
And then nodes that are right checking.
And then with like Ethereum, they have 100x that. So people are willing to pay the higher fees because it's more decentralized. But so there's like all these different degrees of centralization and decentralization. Sure. So I guess it just goes to what you're scared of and what you believe in and how much you want it.
I'm a big believer in decentralization, you know, and I think like when I look at it a bit more like the way by definition, it's like centralization is like the banking system, right? Where essentially the trusted party is the bank, is the central institution.
Yep.
So like, you know, the reason that you have a credit card, but it's the bank or the credit that says, okay, yes, she's good for the money, and makes both. So it's that bank that says, yes, it's all good, versus the blockchain, right, which lives in the ether, where there is no need for a trusted institution. It creates this sort of peer-to-peer, theoretically almost everything is peer-to-peer, managed globally by computers, right? And I think the problem we see with crypto right now is this struggle. It's almost a clash of two worlds. You have centralized institutions, and then you have a decentralized architecture, right? So when you put those two together, there's inefficiencies develop. That's what we're seeing right now. I think it's a phenomenal time for crypto. I'll tell you why. Because I think that it's so early in the game, and these inefficiencies, there's going to be huge money made in resolving these inefficiencies, and also identifying where these inefficiencies are and trading and buying coins. And you say you like a utility or something, that's kind of what you were talking about. But you point to, like, number one, there's a problem with power consumption. And you said this one doesn't have that. So, you're already starting to think like that, where we don't, what's really, you're actually looking in a more educated way than just like I said, Doge is an emotional, like, you're just like, how many people are going to buy it versus sell it? That Doge is a pure,
it's speculative.
It's like, who's the most popular girl in school this year, right? And as soon as that girl loses her virginity, she's she's gone, right? But but on the other stuff, there's more. Is that a good analogy? I think it's a good one. Right?
Is that cancel culture worthy?
I'm pretty much I'm uncancelable though.
They're not gonna cancel.
They can't cancel me.
I will not.
I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. What am I? I'm not fucking leaving. Fucking leaving, right? I'm not. But sorry, Kat. No, but I think that but there's a difference. So that's really a total. It's like just a play. How many more people are buying than selling? You know?
Right.
On the other side, though, you have the coins, right? Like you're saying it's true. You look at Ether, you say, okay, wait a second. So all this stuff with NFTs and smart contracts are basically related to the Ether blockchain, right? And if you look at the prices of that versus Bitcoin, Ether's done a lot better this year.
Yeah,
they've both gone up. So what's your play?
Over
So what are you? Okay, she's
she's
doging it to the moon.
I'm ETHing it to the moon.
Are you doging it at all now?
Yeah. I sold it already.
Oh, did you?
I sold it. Yeah, I took my profits.
You fucking.
He
Dude, are you working for the government? You're with the banks now.
I just took my profits.
It's out. The king is with the banks now.
I do want to say though, I hold other things outside. Like, I feel like it's risk, right? You're like, all right, these ones, I risk assess within crypto as well. I know that's like a
diversified portfolio is a safe portfolio.
Exactly, but mine's in a
$8 million
volatile
Dogecoin
community.
and $1 in Bitcoin. I'm diversifying.
Because I own a lot of Ethereum as well,
Yeah.
and I do a lot of BNB. I stake a lot as well, so I earn interest.
Okay, and what do you get, like 8%, 7%?
No, because sucks being in the U.S. right now for crypto because
5%, 3%.
Like that VPN.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. Look at this.
Hey,
Look at the cat dragged in here.
Cali.
Big Ben, what's up? We got everybody. So so Doge, it's Ether is the play for you?
Yeah.
And so you sold, how'd you do with Doge though? Did you made a lot of money?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to tell us how much you made?
Are we allowed to? Are we giving numbers? No, let's not give numbers.
Well, the percentage. Not
percentage.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of a swing, and I would make some, sell some, make some, sell some.
What kind of overall percentages did you
Maybe like 300%.
Okay. Not bad. And how much did you originally start with?
How?
He's getting mad at you slowly.
No,
He's trying to get everything.
You don't gotta tell.
No, what we did do when I told Amanda to get into options trading, I did like a little case study. I started with $5,000, and then I brought it to $970,000 in 6 months doing options trading.
Okay.
And that's what I was telling Amanda to. And but the crazy thing is, got it from 5,000. Then it went to 7,000, 12,000, then went back to 4,000. So it was like I was doing that learning process, and I really figured out what worked and what didn't work. So I figured out early that the short contracts didn't work.
Yep.
And and then I also figured out
they're pricey.
Yeah,
they're really pricey.
Yeah. And also it's like the market is so unpredictable. Like the company can be doing well, but it'll still like go down.
It does the opposite of what it should do.
All right, so if people keep telling you to try meditation and you're like, what? When I have time to do that? Well, guess what? You need to check out Headspace. Headspace is your daily dose of mindfulness in the form of guided meditations in an easy-to-use app. Listen, I myself try this. I'm using Headspace every morning. I start off with a clear head so I can stay focused, motivated all day long. Takes only 10 minutes. Check the numbers. 4 weeks of Headspace can increase focus by 14% and lower stress, which, by the way, for me is crucial, 32% reduction. The bottom line is you deserve to feel happier, and Headspace is meditation made simple. Go to headspace.com/Wolfsten. Again, that's headspace.com/Wolfsten for a free 1-month trial with access to Headspace's full library of meditations for every situation. This is the best deal offered right now, so head to headspace.com/Wolfsten today. All right, want to grow your business, diversify your content? You're not going to find a better tool out there than Melon for your live streaming needs. Blazing fast response time, low CPU usage, all available right in your browser. Go to melonapp.com/wolf and start streaming today. Hey, JB here, the real Wolf of Wall Street. Here to tell you that the Wolf Network has moved. Check out our new site at www.wolf.online. Again, that's www.wolf.online. What do you mean you're not a member yet? Come on, sign up right now and start taking control of your life and your money. Believe me, you'll be glad you did. You know, my attorney just walked in. Let's get him on. Come here, Ilya. My attorney's here. Ilya, we want you in on the action. Let's go. Go on.
Come on.
No, we want the sober business mind of Ilya posing here, okay? Ilya is not living. Ilya, come on. We want you in the conversation.
Pull up
here.
a chair.
Pull up a chair, Ilya. Okay, Ilya, we want your opinion now on the Doge. Okay, there we go. Doge bear.
Bullish?
Doge bear alert.
Bullish?
Doge bear.
I have no opinion.
Come on, let's hear the opinion.
Probably safer.
Yeah, is he being picked up?
I think it's all a bubble.
Bubble.
personally.
Okay.
Well, we all know that, yeah.
The reason why I reassure myself within Doge is because it has good supporters. So the people that are talking about it all the time, like Mark Cuban or Elon Musk, I'm like, all right, these guys are, I know he says it's a meme, but the idea of making it a stable coin is reassuring to me. I know it has unlimited supply, which is
Tough for a stable coin with unlimited supply, right?
Yeah, and so it's kind of how is that beating fiat by having inflation? But when I heard right before I came here, Mark Cuban did an interview, and he was talking about how every year they have a cap of how many they can put into circulation. So with the growth and with inflation of fiat happening, it's almost beating inflation because the cap is always going to be there for every year. So it kind of outweighs.
Got you!
Ilya?
Shit.
Ilya?
I just think anything that's driven by social media, by celebrity, that makes it move up and down so much with so much volatility.
Yeah.
Right, where one tweet just changes the whole thing. Elon Musk got.
I played the devil's advocate. What happens if Elon Musk wakes up and says, you know what? I think that it's been fun, guys, but in reality, it's just a meme.
Then I'm the only one that's
said that.
safe because I sold.
Then the king,
he said
the
that.
king knew all. The king foresaw. Okay.
Yeah.
Amanda calls Elon. What the fuck, Elon?
But the only reason I even
trusted
had,
you.
I didn't even know I had Doge until it went up. I bought it because I thought it was a joke, so I just bought it as a joke. And I forgot to sell it.
This is the problem.
And I forgot to sell it. And then someone's like, yo, Doge to the moon. I was like, Doge, I
I'll
love
tell you why it bothers Ilya. Because Ilya's a very smart man. He's a businessman, and he works and he builds in value and he creates stuff. And he's like,
Longevity.
what the fuck is this going on?
People getting rich for tweeting and.
You had to work hard.
My ass off. I built a real company.
But that's their hard-earned money that they're putting in and risking for that potential 100x, right?
You know what?
Did I?
My time.
That's right. His time is valuable, believe me. Because
Yeah, I
Ilya
know,
likes
I
to
know.
fucking have fun and party. Ilya.
He did last night, though.
Is this a roast?
Yeah, welcome. Ilya's Instagram is Ilya never sleeps, and he actually never fucking sleeps. Ilya is out every fucking night enjoying life, right?
Not last night.
Not last night. It was a man that wasn't leaving last
She's like,
night.
why are you fucking leaving?
I was really disappointed in all of you because
Oh, you were ready to go last night?
I wrapped
No.
filming.
Yeah. She was ready to roll.
Take shots and go home. Fun, guys.
Okay, so we all went out for dinner last night, and the name of the restaurant. What's the name of the restaurant? It's called.
I don't even know how to pronounce it.
I can't pronounce
Salt-based
it.
restaurant,
Something now.
yeah.
What is it?
Nusret. I was right.
Nusret.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was determined to get Amanda to eat meat last night. And he really thought he was going to, I don't think he realized what he was up against.
No.
He thought you were joking.
Then he
when
thought it
she
was like,
said-
he thought it was like a vegan diet or something. It's like,
Steakhouse, what are you doing?
right, he was like, really
It's
thought.
like, and that's where it was all the comments on my post too were saying, why were you even at a steakhouse? I'm like, can I not live?
Poor
Can I
Amanda.
not like just go places?
She was like, I'm vegan. He's like, really?
She's like, no, really? What no,
Yeah.
I'm really vegan.
Yeah.
What are you? I'm really
Yeah.
vegan.
And he just came out with corn.
Yeah.
Literally did.
Here you go. Have fun, right? And
Some
avocado.
raw vegetables.
Some people think that vegans don't like flavor, and they're just like, here's
Vegans
the
are people
Here's
too.
the
spinach.
Vegans are people too.
Vegans are people too.
Thank you.
I feel bad. I feel like that you are
Thank you.
partially treated for being a vegan. You're entitled to your beliefs, whatever they might be.
Those vegan sausages, great.
Oh,
the
yeah,
ones I
yeah,
cook.
Batch cooks vegan.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
No, he does. He does
I do
that
it
too. He
for her and
chefs it up.
her boyfriend. I'm good.
Ah.
Say the real
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, what's the real reason? Come on. What's the comb? Can you explain the
Oh, this is just
Is it a Doge coin?
is it a Doge?
yeah, this is Doge. This is to the moon. The fist is to the moon.
The Doge color?
Nah, sometimes when the hair gets out of whack.
But I
you
think
gotta-
one of the questions Ilya is, I'm not roasting Ilya, but no, Ilya said, because, really, something about this, he goes, it's just fundamentally, it's like from his balls up, it's just wrong.
He's right.
And he goes, and I think that there's too many people, here's his point, and it's a good point. There's so many people out there that didn't really earn it, so to speak, through ingenuity or whatnot, and that extra money sloshing around the economy, when is it going to create inflation?
That was one.
This is your point. No, like if there's that much extra money, why is it not inflating? Well, I think the reason now is most people are hodlers, so very little makes its way back into the economy right now. I
That's
think.
just
But
inflation.
that might change, right? The second you're
That-
able
I agree, that's
the
gonna-
second you're able to purchase homes and cars, like Tesla's coming out with the ability to purchase a Tesla with.
There's another
Bitcoin.
person here who's very, very intelligent, but he's very camera shy too. So
He doesn't like to be on camera.
No, he hates his gun already.
Run, Forrest, run!
Can you
Run,
just
Can you come out with like two face masks?
Yeah, just come out with
No,
the
we gotta
bag.
put out like a bag on his head, the artificial voice, yeah. You get, Mr. B's, opinion on this stuff. No, but
just text me all the smart things.
yeah,
to
just
say.
here he is. Why don't you put a face mask over your eyes too? And,
He's fucking leaving.
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah.
not fucking leaving. But no, I think that's the point. That right now there's a lot of people who aren't really selling, but at some point, it's either not real or it makes its way back into the economy,
But
right?
there's so much money in there, and there's not enough stuff to spend it on, right? So two things can happen. One is it can burst, but then two, what if you can actually start buying things like cars and homes and everything else using that crypto you made? Now, all of a sudden, all these people who weren't technically supposed to be wealthy because they work hard for it have all this money. Now the economy has all this money flowing, right? So now you have way more capital and people are buying way more products. That's what causes inflation, right? So it might happen. It might, I don't know.
And then
But
if
man
you have
doesn't
Doge, you're winning because the inflation is limited on the coin.
I feel bad because all that time I put in to build a great company, then.
Like, why even do it? Why not just buy Doge, right?
And then
I've just done that for the last 6 years. Like, what the fuck?
or add Bitcoin to your balance sheet
Ethereum.
and Ethereum. Yes, yeah.
Does anyone here think that there's a chance that like suddenly the world just like wakes up and it's like this anti-crypto like sort of mindset, just a zeitgeist takes hold and a government start cracking down, people start dumping it. You think that's a possibility?
They always do that though. Look at XRP. Government try to crack them down.
But
Right, well, that was an SEC. That was
The SEC.
That was SEC with Ripple, right? So
Yeah.
Ripple's still not traded a lot around here to these days, right?
It's not on Coinbase anymore.
Right, yeah. So Ripple's hard to trade. No, I don't mean that. What I'm talking about is there was a moment back in 2017, right? And I called this, by the way, and I was out there as a major bear in crypto, right? I was right and I was wrong. I was right. I said it's going to crash. It was like close to 20,000. I was almost right to the day, and I was on CNN, and I came out and said, I think it's a joke, it's a disaster, it's going to go to zero. I was wrong because I thought it would go down and never come back. The reason I thought it would never come back is I was like, how could the government allow this to happen? Like I was like, there's just no way. Like I went to jail for money laundering. I'm like, why would the government that does everything to control the money supply, it's always about the money supply, every deposit over $10,000, we want to know about. I mean, every time you go to an airport, so like right now, everyone's going with a fucking phone that has crypto on it, really breaking. If you go with a phone and crypto's on your phone, theoretically, you're supposed to tell that to the people. Are you supposed to declare? I just thought of that, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you cross the border with a wallet
That's interesting.
in crypto,
Are you bringing more than $10,000?
are you bringing
cash?
more than $10,000? Because if it's in your wallet, theoretically it's not because it's in the ether. And the same way, if your bank balance is on your phone and you have a, but what's the what? No, right? That's the other side. It's not right because like theoretically, if you have a bank account, you can look at your bank. But if it's on your, but the point is when it's on your phone like that, a decentralized wallet. The point is that you go across a border and you could just literally like it is. You can't do that with the U.S. because the U.S. have to wire it. It will be the money would be recorded as leaving the country. So what do you think about that?
I think that's a fun thought process. Like I think that's like these conversations
What
are
if?
really they're really fun. But I think it's
But
like
Dogecoin's going to the fucking moon.
it's going to the moon, so we don't have to worry.
What do you think it would take for a crash to happen?
That's going to take, something's going to happen. It will happen for sure. It's definitely going to happen. It always does, right?
Event, like what do you
No, it'll be probably black. So something's going to happen. Bitcoin's going to fucking crash. No, I think it goes hard. I think Bitcoin, in my opinion, I don't know, right?
What's a crash?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know, and I'm not giving investment advice for the 18th time, right? But if I had to guess, I think Bitcoin breaks 100,000. I think if the Ether breaks 10,000 before something happens, and I think is going to be an absolute fucking bloodbath, and it's going to come from regulation, from coordinated regulation from the G7, okay? Where something's going to happen, and I don't think they'll kill it. I don't think they'll kill it. I just think that it literally gets obliterated, and then comes back and goes even higher. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. And I don't think it's that. I don't think. I mean, listen, anything is killable. That's not true. They want to kill it. You know what? Send in the fucking Navy SEALs. Take over the fucking computers. It's gone. So don't say they can't be killed. It could be killed in 2 fucking seconds. If they government wanted to kill it, they said the NSA creates a fucking virus and blows up the fucking computers. They go into Navy SEAls. They take over the nodes and buy fucking Bitcoin.
You think a stock market crash could kill it?
I think it would not. No. I think it would absolutely be correlated. I think yes. I think
But when
it's
the stock
correlated.
market goes down, crypto goes up.
I don't think. I believe. I think a real
but I mean a
crash.
crash, like
in a
a
real
crash.
crash. So here's what should happen. In a real crash, theoretically, Bitcoin should go up if it's digital gold. Because in historically, when markets crash, gold goes up as a store of value. That's what one would think. Okay. I believe, though, that wouldn't happen. In a real crash, I think the flight to quality would not be to gold, it would be to bonds and treasuries. I think that Bitcoin would absolutely crater because there would be a lot.
Because everyone would start selling.
There's a loss of, it's all about Bitcoin, all currency, it's all based on confidence, right? But at the end of the day, what's the US dollar? What's it really based on? Think about it. What backs the US dollar?
Well, they say
the military. That's the only thing that backs the US dollar is the military. In other words, at the end of the day, if you don't pay your bills, we'll send in the fucking Navy SEALs to literally take over your country. And we've done that. We've gone into at the end of the day, it's all based on the ability of a sovereign country to fucking project power. That's what money's all about. Think about it. I mean, I'm not saying there's other things involved, but the US government is backed by the fact that we will go in there and literally take over your oil fields. Right. All right? And we'll make your life so miserable in Switzerland, you have to start complying.
But how much debt are we in, though? How much debt?
Well, that's my other theory. So I have another theory. You want to know my other theory? Satoshi is the U.S. government.
Oh yeah? Whoa, that'd be a.
And
that'd crash it.
Imagine if Satoshi was. Imagine if it was the NSA, right? And they end up and the thing rallies to $50 trillion market cap, and the U.S. owns $25 trillion by deficit.
That could be stretch.
I mean,
So that's a stretch,
shit,
well,
right?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not
I mean,
saying
it's a theory.
it's a theory. Doge to the moon.
Give me a lot of thoughts.
I mean, what's more likely?
I'm overwhelmed.
Doge to the moon or fucking like?
Yeah.
I think Doge to the moon is more likely.
But that's why I like the idea of decentralized, because it's so like spread out that it's really hard and almost, I want to say, impossible to get rid of Bitcoin.
So you want social media stars to drive the economy?
I'm down.
Yes.
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 Get her on BitClout right now,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen.
Ellie's a left brain guy. Ellie's like a strategic guy. I get it. Yeah.
It's
It's very troubling to
So loose.
Is,
and
but
it's-
is it troubling because you didn't buy in?
Maybe.
Amanda fucking calls it out. It's not too
She's
late.
been roasting me since yesterday.
Yeah.
You earned this.
Amanda, go deep now. It's time for you to go deep now. Expose. No, you can go deep with Ilya. Ilya, they can take
No,
it.
I feel like
I didn't even expect to be on here.
I like these two different viewpoints on it though, because I think it's important to have the cautious mindset with things too, and especially where you're putting your money. Like, if you're just throwing everything you own into something and you're like, woo, I believe in it, and then things are so unpredictable. Like even in the stock market, like what I want to know with you guys is with your retirement funds, because I think this is something like. It's kind of going over here, but this is something that a lot of people our age and stuff are thinking about. And okay, I'm putting money into a 401k, I'm putting money into a defined benefit plan. Should I be putting that into like a Vanguard account that follows the S&P 500 right now, or should I be putting that into Bitcoin and Ethereum, a portion of it? But I can't because it's in
That's
my
scary.
401k.
The Financial Times interview. Was.
That's scary.
I'll tell you, it's a good question. It's a really good question. I think number one, I think the same philosophies that have worked for the last 50, 75 years still apply today. And the central philosophy is that the older you get, the less risk you want to take with your money. And the more you want to go into more fixed income type of investments that are going to be there for you. You're not going to risk the farm. For someone in their 20s or early 30s, you can replace the money that you make. For someone who's in their 50s or 60s with a family and not that many years left to work, that person probably is not going to want to risk. That being said, I think the big change is that if someone would have asked me this question 10 years ago, I would have said, or 15 years ago, I'd say, all right, put the bulk of your money into spiders. Spiders are the S&P, right? That's an exchange ETF that follows the S&P. If you just look at the Warren Buffett, who's the top investor in the world in my mind, okay? He's not always right, but he's consistently right. Yeah, no, well, the point is it just works, like, that he's done the math and he's tracked it, and if you just literally put your money into S&Ps, you're going to beat almost every single hedge fund out there over a period of 7 to 10 years, right? But that being said, you can't be Warren Buffett because he doesn't play by the same rules. He doesn't buy stocks, he buys companies, he gets preferred stock, he gets higher returns, he gets warrants. So he's not. We can't play the game. We want to play his game. We got to invest in Warren Buffett's, in Berkshire Hathaway. We can't just do what he does. You can't mirror Warren Buffett's activities because you can't get the deals Warren gets, right? But what he would say, what most small people would say with that, you'd probably take, let's say, 70% of your portfolio, and if let's say so in your age, like you could basically afford to be really, really aggressive, right? So if I were you, I'd probably have like 30% of my money in safe stuff, like in spiders. I'd have 40% in Bitcoin, 30% in real estate, and like that, and 10% in cash, something like that. That's just guessing. With that, what would you do? What would you say that, Ilya?
Sounds good.
Like it's just a whatever, And then those numbers mix and go up and down 10% based on your own belief systems, but that's pretty safe. If you were 45 years old, right? Then I'd say to you, well, you probably would want to have, a little bit more money in safe stuff and a bit less in the real risky stuff. But again, it's all based on your beliefs. What I would never do is say put all your money in spiders, all your money in Dogecoin, Amanda. No.
I have a big chunk in there, but it's actually
Is it more than
not
30
all-
to 40%?
It's not. It's
She's got
the
some-
amount I have in there.
She's got some Doge.
15%.
She's got some Doge.
That's my big risk one is the
There you
Doge,
go.
but also
You said
I'm
30,
comfortable.
40, so you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got some Doger, and then what's the second biggest position after that?
Oh, that's like my longer. Well, I swing trade BNB, and so I have a lot of that. Like I have more than that than I do of Doge. So it would go into like my swing trades. So I'm in and out. And I don't do those every day because I don't have time to do it every day, but I'm still like paying attention to the market throughout the days and like just staying with like what's going on social media and like with all the coins. But then I also have real estate. No, real estate would be my third.
Okay. Question. Without saying how much, just what percentage are you up overall? If you were to mark your entire
for last year,
since the beginning, how much money did you put? If you market to market today,
Yeah.
how much did you invest? How much you got right now? How much you up?
I'm up 3.5x on my crypto, and I started in February.
Of this
Like
year?
this year.
Yeah. And because I started with options first, like in around January.
The Bosch formula.
Yeah. But that was great for me because I
can learn so much.
I learned so much through doing that. I mean, it's a big risky way to learn.
What platform are you on, by the way? What are you trading on?
I do TD Ameritrade for
For your option stuff.
TD Ameritrade. I was doing Robinhood,
too?
and then I was like, no, thank you.
TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Robinhood.
Oh, Bosch is
Yeah.
man of all countries.
I just hate, like, after the whole GME thing with Robinhood,
How they just suspended the trading and stuff.
they made it so you couldn't liquidate. So
We're not fucking leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Ellie, what are your thoughts on all this?
I let people who know what they're doing do it for me, and I don't like to make my own. Otherwise, I'm just going to be in there refreshing every fucking 5 minutes, and see.
It is
I don't like to get
Fun.
caught
It's
up.
like Instagram.
Yeah. But
Look at
real.
Instagram models, or you can look at your crypto. But also, Chainlink. What do you guys think about Chainlink? $200 by the end of the year?
I don't know. I don't know enough about it to make a prediction.
I think what are your Ethereum, BNB, Bitcoin, Litecoin? What do you guys think of Litecoin?
That's a scary one.
So the guy who I would consider is my mentor in crypto, someone who really knows it, who's got a really sober view of the whole thing, very sober view, right? He's like, just honestly, he goes, just buy Bitcoin, Ethereum. Because, he says, just buy it and never sell it. Don't trade. It's what he says, just buy it. He's probably got 2 or 3 billion in crypto, and he's never sold a single thing.
Yeah.
And he says to buy which ones now?
Bitcoin and Ethereum, and just buy it and hold it, and don't trade it,
stake
and
it.
don't worry about. If you want to buy the dips, that's fine, but don't sell on the way. If you're going to do it, just because you have you have this sort of, we used to call it in Wall Street dollar cost averaging, where you like sort of, if you have a commitment to keep buying over every 4 weeks, you're going to, when you get a paycheck for the average person, you make a commitment to buy, and it's called dollar cost averaging, right? So you buy over an average price over time. He just say buy and hold, buy and hold, buy and hold, which is interesting because it's very similar to philosophy for a conservative mainstream investor. He looks at he's very much into decentralization. He is a tremendous distrust for the fiat currencies. He believes that that it's going to be at some point there's going to be hell to pay for all the money being printed. So he looks at it like he just looks at it as being safe, but he owns probably 3 times as much in real estate as he does in crypto.
Oh, wow.
And he's got a large portfolio as well. He's a very wealthy guy, but that's his view. His view is it's digital gold. Bitcoin's digital gold. Ether has issues that need to be resolved before it can be used in ways that would make it viable.
Lower fees.
Lower fees and also quicker transaction time. So we actually have a company together that resolves some of that stuff. But overall, batch, okay, 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay, chances of Bitcoin, chance of Doge going to the moon. What's the price for you on Doge? You're out of it, but I know you're out of
I'm
it.
out of it. I think it'll get to $1. I think it'll get there.
Ilya?
I don't know. I'd be speculating.
I think it'll get to $1. Like
For Amanda's sake, it will get to $1.
But look at Bitcoin.
Amanda's out at 72 though.
But look at
I do have a
Bitcoin.
sell.
She's
but
out.
I'll probably buy
I'll buy back in
in.
at 73.
I
Fuck the
will.
fees.
Everybody knows that what were you saying?
No, I was saying, look at Bitcoin. Like you thought it was gonna stop at 14,000,
Right.
and then your guy, you said that.
What were you thinking?
I didn't know. I was naive and I was uneducated. So I didn't understand.
Got it.
I didn't know what it was, so I was like, I don't know it.
So, okay, wait. I had this just great thought here. If there was one book or website, or where would someone that's watching this go if they want to get educated?
YouTube.
What's the
YouTube.
process?
Social media stars.
But what's the process? So,
I'll tell you how I explained it to Amanda. I went over her house and I pulled up a YouTube video that explained the stock market like real estate. It was buying a house at a certain value
options.
for options.
Yeah.
Oh, for options trading. And then once you learn, because options is pretty much the hardest way to learn how to
I was like,
trade.
buy a call, sell a put, buy a put, like what? And then
Once you
break
learn
it,
that,
yeah.
you can learn crypto and you can learn everything else. So I think that you start with the hardest thing.
but what's like? Is there a resource? Is there one particular?
It was YouTube.
YouTube. Just like a YouTube tutorial.
Yeah.
Or, oh, no.
Remember
Okay.
the video?
Let me
Yeah.
look at this.
An unbiased.
No, meaning, for example, not. I'm talking about like, where would one go to get into the swing of the information that's out there. So obviously, you're relying on being wired in. So like one of the biggest things on Wall Street was always that, like you said, they would say Wall Street's like where all the, when you're on Wall Street, your finger's on the pulse of the market, right? Centralized market based on Wall Street. This is the olden days when information was there, right? And your local brokers reading yesterday's Wall Street Journal.
Blogs, is it Reddit?
Right. I think it's
where
is the place?
Twitter, word of mouth.
Discord.
Where?
Twitter?
Well, no, where though?
I
Where's the big place?
I would say just start, like, look at the people, look at the investors in the space that you like, how, their way of thinking and like, their track record, what they've done. Like, look into that before you start don't take any advice from anybody, like, on these platforms, because if you do, you're buying everything and you're screwed, because there's a lot of like shit coins and stuff that are being pumped on Twitter all the time. But you can go on and just like look at, I like to get everybody's, like, first I'll like look and see what everybody's saying, and then I'll look at like some sources and just see like how they're responding to things. But I never take one person's one tweet as advice for me to do, because they're investing in a totally different way than I am, and they have a completely different strategy, and it's so vague and it could be very biased. So when looking at Twitter, I think it's important to keep that in mind, and then educate yourself on the back end through tutorials on YouTube and everything, so you understand it better yourself. And so you're your own like financial advisor at the end of the day, and you're able to do that because you understand every element of it. And then to know what's going on with the market in crypto, it is a lot of like events that are happening in pop culture.
Yeah.
So.
And where are those sites? Where's the pop culture? Where's the easiest place? Is there one
Her
place?
response was Twitter. So
No. Like, is there like first on Reddit? Is there like one forum on Reddit you think is the best forum?
What is it?
Is there one?
The Wall Street bets?
Yeah, that's an obvious one.
Yeah.
Is that the one you think is the best?
I think if you're a part of that community, it's great, but
Has the
there's
most
specific
followers.
goals for that community. Like, they're like focusing on what their goals are as a group. So I think if you're just going in and just picking up random, I think you have to be invested in that group. But
You know what's crazy about this? This is like the exact topic we're discussing. It's like, it's asking Amanda like what source to go to is almost equivalent like what meme is going to become viral next, right? Like, where do you find it? No, I'm not saying it. I'm more saying it like your response is like Twitter and Reddit, right? While for stocks, there's like real publications. People read real news.
well, the white papers. You can look at the white papers of the coins, like with Bitcoin and everything.
See that's
That's the technical side of
Yeah,
it.
but that's
Like,
fun, more fun.
that's
that
utility or not utility.
but it's like
But that was
predicting
going-
trends, right? It's social media trends. It's,
I think what happens is partially it's like there's it's Stratton Oakmont 2.0 at a global level. Is what
Except you're not going to jail.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we did basically. It's like, you know what, we would get behind a stock and have everyone talk about it, and it drives up the stock. There's a few differences here. One is that there is no value, and everyone knows there's no value. So there's no expectation that there'll be good or bad news. In other words, I'm saying beyond any coin's features. Meaning, no, I don't mean that. What I'm saying is there's not like good and bad news that's unpredictable. When a coin is created, it has a certain features. Those features are known, they're quantifiable, right? And if there's a limited number, there's scarcity, then everyone is operating under the same rules. What happens in the stock market is you have the same thing where they report earnings. There's rules for accounting, how they are supposed to, report numbers. But a CEO makes a stupid decision, and just like that, the human element enters in, and it's completely unpredictable. So what happens is people that have, educations and have studied stuff, they pay them to analyze, they do fundamental analysis. They look at people's management skills, their track record, global trends, and they analyze what, is this company based on who is running it, what industry they're in, and where the world's going, is it likely to become more valuable? And that drives price. Versus here, it's simply, okay, here's all the parameters, they're never gonna change. Who are most people going to vote for in the popularity contest?
What
Who's the
hashtag
most
are they
popular
using?
girl in high school? That's really what's going on right now. And right now, Elon's the most popular girl in high school. So if Elon says it's good, then it's good.
couldn't have said it better myself.
That's what's going on.
I hear that for like a big chunk of people that are new in the space. Like, I'm fully aware of the volatility of Doge and what could happen and what couldn't happen and where it could go and where
I'm not saying it's bad though. I'm just saying it's different paradigms. I'm not saying it's bad or good.
No, but what I'm saying is that there's also the flip side of that. There's also people in the stock market that go in and just like YOLO it all day long and they have no idea what they're doing. And then the hedge funds that are like pushing things up, bringing things down all the time, and that's fully legal. But
I guess I'm not saying this is illegal. All I'm saying is that it's a different set of rules. In other words, the rules in the stock market and fundamental investing is that there are things that are variable, that are changing all the time, and you have to have people that know what's likely to succeed or not as a business. With coins, those things are locked in. Those things are locked in. It's more about what's likely to be hotter, who's going to recommend it, who's going to start saying this is a good coin, this is a bad coin. But for example, Dogecoin. If Elon comes out tomorrow and says, I don't like this, what happens? What happens?
it goes down.
Zero, basically, right? Elon and Cuban say, you know what? I'm getting pressure from the government guys. I'm out. Sorry. I love. Not wish anyone well, but good luck. What happens to it?
But that happens with the company too.
But what happened? Not because no.
If the CEO is
No.
You don't think so?
You don't think Tesla would go down without?
Well, number one, Tesla will lose part of its value. The part of its value is irrationally related to Elon himself. But any other company that trades, any other company in the world, okay? The CEOs come and go all the time. They retire, they get old, they die, and companies go on. After Steve Jobs dies, the company gets bigger. And I'm not saying it makes Bitcoin worse or better. I'm saying it's a different set of rules for investing. You can't with the stock market. There is at least, as Warren Buffett has proved, you can do fundamental analysis and buy solid companies, hold them over time, and make money. In the world of Bitcoin and
world events?
What's that?
Would it be world events that could happen that would increase the value or give it like that?
Not really.
I think it's possible on a macro level. Like if enough. Remember, there's also a network effect happening here, somewhat, right?
Yeah.
So a poor network effect, because theoretically, what should be happening is this. All right. So a network effect means the more people that use something, the more valuable it becomes, right? So theoretically, the more people that buy and hold Bitcoin, the more value it gives to Bitcoin. But in truth, there's also a reverse network effect. Because when you're pumping up an item, the more people that you pump it up, and the guy over there knows this really well, who wants to stay off camera, eventually you run out of people to pump up the asset. There's no one left. And then it's at the top, and it only can go down. That's when the bubble bursts. At a certain point, you run out of people who are going to play into this whole thing of let's just drive Doge to the moon. That will happen at some point.
I think we shouldn't focus on Doge. I think we should focus on the one.
You're right. Let's focus on anything.
Like
at
Bitcoin.
A certain point, right? You run out of the idea is at a certain point you run out of people who are left in the universe to pump the thing higher. This is with every pump and dump. But as soon as that is done, there's no one else to sell it to. It's all done.
But I think we're far away from that. There's still
No, I don't think that's. I'm saying
And
that's the end game though to this.
Yeah, I think it's still so early, and people aren't even aware that they can buy fractions of a Bitcoin. Like people are still learning.
Let me give you a better example though. The point, I think the real network effect of a Bitcoin is when stores start to take it.
They do.
No, but not in a way that's not scale and not in a way that's rational, because it costs you more to use Bitcoin than anyone would ever spend on currency. It's like 15 to 20% of the transaction. My point is, I think what it really has long-term value, I believe, is when people actually start using it in a way where it starts to be used as more like a currency and less like.
But then it is a currency.
But Bitcoin isn't a currency; it's a store of value. So it's like gold. You're not
It
going to
wasn't
go.
supposed to be.
But it
evolves that way.
You can't use gold at Ralph's, right?
Exactly.
But maybe in the future you'll be able to use Bitcoin.
Because it's too costly to convert the gold into fiat and then.
You can carry. You will just remember this. Bitcoin on some level represents the natural evolution. We used to trade sex for food, then it became trinkets for food, then it was gold for food, then we printed out money for food, now it's digital, right? It's all part of the same thing.
When was it sex for food?
Sex for food. In the club, you know, take me to my fucking cave. so that shit back in like. Whoa! No order! Go back to the oldest days.
Up with the question.
There's a reason they say it's the oldest profession, by the way. Okay, it's the oldest profession, right? Prostitution, right? No harm, no foul here. But the point I'm making is I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on it. My point is that I think that you need to, what people need to understand is that the rules of investing in Bitcoin are very different than the rules of investing in stocks.
But
Yes.
I just want to go, yes, okay. I want to go back to like the currency thing
Sure.
though. Because even with Bitcoin, we know that's a store of value. That's kind of what's holding the value of like the coins under it as well. And Ethereum's kind of running on its own. But once Ethereum gives like the, what is it, ETH2 or something like
There's
that.
proof of stake
staking.
versus proof of work.
Yeah, so once it starts staking.
Yeah, that
then-
brings down the cost, maybe makes transactions more possible,
and
right?
faster. Like
Yeah.
you can't, I can't
Right.
wire
Right.
money to my mom right
Right.
now and not wait like, I don't know, a day.
It costs you $12 to buy an $8 hamburger with Ethereum, right? And it takes you 15 minutes to do it. I get it. Or it could take you 2 days, or it could happen quickly, depending on what's going on in the blockchain.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's like this, but
Yeah.
you're paying those
You never
higher
know.
fees
Right, yeah.
to get it done fast. But I think
That's a
That-
big. That to me makes the. That's to me is far. That's where I believe
Yeah.
value comes in when it starts to be able to actually be used at
And
more like a currency. But just
Yeah.
the people that taught me about Bitcoin said that Satoshi, whoever he might be, it was all about a currency.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a currency, and it just the people that ended up taking over it took it in a different direction. It was and that one Bitcoin
People.
Cash was the other spin-off that was more about being a currency.
yeah. But I do like how he just like dipped out and left it for everybody just to, hey, this is for the people now. Make it into what you guys want it to be.
No,
and-
Ellie is so
What
skeptical.
do you think about real estate? Let's change the
There
topic.
you
Real
go.
estate?
So real estate's been going up since 2008. So what's that? 13 years, right?
Right.
Are we at the top? What would cause it to start going down? 'Cause
Interest
I'm
rates.
shopping for a
Interest
house,
rates.
but I don't know
Just
if it's
interest
the right time
rates.
to buy it.
What's happening right now is we're in this very strange time right now where the government can't afford to raise interest rates because they've been kicking the can down the road for so long. It started back when Bush, after 9/11, and Bush said everyone go shopping. It was a dot-com bubble burst, right? And then we had the terrorist attack, and you think the economy would go into a terrible recession, but instead they cut interest rates to below zero. They let money. It was the right move. I'm not saying it was the wrong move, but they kicked the can down the road. They printed massive sums of money, and then that led to 2008. 2008 was a utter disaster. Should have frozen the world's economy.
Right.
What did they do? They printed even more money. They went full Monty on the whole thing. They went full in, okay? They printed trillions upon trillions of dollars, expanded balance sheets, and kicked the can down the road further, right? We have a deficit right now. That's, what is it, 20 trillion or some insane number, right? What makes that deficit manageable is ultra low interest rates. If interest rates are to spike up right now, how does the government pay its debt, right? So with interest rates at ultra low, everything makes sense. Ultra low interest rates drives real estate prices. If you were to raise interest rates to 7% right now, no one could afford these homes. Mortgages would be too expensive. So it's all interest rate sensitive, which goes back into your greatest fear. What happens if all of this money that's being made in Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatnot, and Doge to the moon, comes into the economy, starts driving up prices, inflation hits, the Fed has no choice but to raise interest rates to
Right.
chill the economy, values go up, real estate plummets.
Yep.
That's one disaster scenario.
So rent, don't buy right now?
No, I don't think. I think it's always good to buy, but if you're going to buy, you buy what you love. If it's your primary, buy what you love and hold it for the long term. You're buying investment properties. I would buy again, like not over leverage. In the end, I think people historically always make money in real estate if they don't over leverage. When people get wiped out in real estate, it's because they just over leveraged and they couldn't wait out the downturn. I'm pretty bullish on real estate. I am, and I think that
It's been going up for a long time, though.
but it goes down too. But it's historically comes
13
back.
years, though,
Yeah.
is a long time.
I think it's because I'm even looking for property in LA now too, but I feel like if I would have waited to buy my home in Florida, I'd still be waiting because they've been saying for like forever, it's gonna crash.
Yeah.
And then that would have like stopped my life and my
Sure.
money moves in my
Yeah, I
life.
think buy what you love,
So,
right?
yeah.
And don't over leverage. But I think real estate's a great investment. I really do. I think you have to look at it as, obviously you want to be smart about maybe not, trying to buy in a place that hasn't just had a huge run. But if you have enough money and we're able to wait out a downturn, then I think you always end up pretty much okay, no matter where it is, unless it's even the area like Detroit, that was like, if you couldn't give away real estate, that's booming 10 years later. Mm-hmm. There was a place, the worst thing I've ever seen is where I grew up, there was a place in Brooklyn, right? And it was under the Kosciuszko Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge, and And it was like you couldn't give away this land. You couldn't give it away. You couldn't, like, it was like $1.09, I don't want it. It's not bad, right? No one ever thought that the whole area looks into the Manhattan skyline, and now, like, you can't get a townhouse for the $5 million now. It's like, it's just so weird. Like, how some things are so obvious in retrospect. We're all Monday morning quarterbacks, right? But at the end of the day, there's two things, I think, to close this out. It's been a great discussion. One is obviously Doge to the moon for Amanda. At least to the moon, or at least 72, at least
72 cents, and then dips, and then buy back in, and then the moon.
Amanda knows. Ask Amanda. We have a new show, Ask Amanda. Amanda knows, right? And also, by the way,
Amanda has no idea. Amanda's just
in your
having fun
personal
out
life,
here.
though, you're here for a great reason, though, right? Didn't you just land a great show at your?
Oh yeah, I'm on
Tell us about your show.
iCarly
Yeah.
with Miranda Cosgrove, who's amazing.
So tell us about that.
I'm on an episode.
I feel like we're on late night talk. No, tell us about your show. Can you play us the clip of it?
Don't have that yet, but yeah, and that's what I wanted to celebrate last night with you guys.
And you sure did.
By myself.
Yeah, we had Salt Bay.
Okay.
We tapped out at midnight.
Yeah.
We wanted to keep going.
What happened to not sleeping?
Ilya never sleeps.
I wouldn't have been here.
I know.
Neither would you, though,
That's,
honestly.
that's very true. Also, yeah.
And
It was
Bosch,
good- it was a smart
what's the
decision.
Boscher up to these days? What's the main thing?
Debauchery?
Yeah. Debauchery. Besides the normal debauchery.
I've just been filming a lot. I was
Directing.
directing a Facebook show. I'm going to New Orleans in 2 weeks to film a movie with J.K. Simmons, college football movie. Got a movie coming out June 11th. Got a movie coming out in August. Got a movie coming out that our friend over there, he's executive produced.
Mystery man already.
He's a mystery man. He's got 5 masks on now.
He financed-
and he owns the mask company, so he's
Right.
making
Yeah.
money as he's.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fucking guy makes money and everything. Yeah.
So me and Ben have a lot of companies together. We got the Mask Company together. We have the Zeus Network, which Amanda is involved with as well. And he financed a movie that we have coming out later this year.
626 wine.
And 626 Wine. So we're doing it.
Put all these products out.
We're drinking wine.
I love it.
It's things we enjoy.
Yeah.
That I don't have to barter to be there. I'm just like, woo.
And Ilya's enjoying life.
Well, no, I went into like a little retirement, but got bored quickly, so I've been looking for new projects and started a few things. But you know, we could talk about them later.
All right, well, I guess the only one way to end this show is to say, I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving!
Thanks, everyone, for coming on, man. You're awesome as always. Basha, the king. That's why they call you the king. Ilya, it's a pleasure roasting you. No. There's always a contrarian in every group.
Direct
But
batch.
anyway, and of course, Doge to the moon. All right, and there we go. Thanks for tuning in. Share this with your friends. Another great episode of The Wolf's Den coming to you.
Oh.
Oh.